Doge has finally rooted out one of America's least efficient government workers and marked him for dismissal.
Elon Musk is no longer a special government employee. Friday was the billionaire's last day in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency.
He's leaving. He's leaving his job to make more family with his time. He f***ed a lot, I think. Or just has a mail-order sperm farm going. I don't know what he's doing. I'm starting to feel bad for this guy. He's been there 4 months. Look at the poor bastard. It only took 4 months to go from this to this. Oh. Look at this guy. He went from tech titan, given a mandate to move fast and crush the deep state, to guy who had a bad night in Nashville bar he can't remember. Like that. He's got that look like, has anyone seen my shoes? He's looked beaten down. He's got that look on his face that I imagine his employees normally have. Black eye, 1,000-yard stare. This dude has seen some shit. I'd like to know at least how that happened.
What is your eye okay? What happened to your eye? I noticed there's a bruise there.
No, I was just horsing around with little X, and I said, go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did.
So you're not going to tell us what happened? Do you need a safe place to stay? Look, I believe sometimes do happen when you're roughhousing with your kids, but I'm also sure the one sentence no parent has ever uttered to their child is, go ahead, punch me in the face. But Elon spent $300 million of his own money to get Trump elected, irreparably damaged his personal brand and almost all of his businesses, and is clearly suffering some kind of issue. But don't worry, Trump made sure that Elon got something in return.
President Trump heaping praise on the tech titan, presenting him with a golden key.
And I gave him a little special something we have here.
Thank you.
A very special that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
You couldn't just give him the f***ing key. You had to make sure that everybody knows you give them to a lot of people. It's just not that special. You know, I got a bunch of these. I give them to special people. Who's the guy who brings me my Diet Cokes? I give him one for every Diet Coke. Anyway, enjoy your useless key. There was no need for Trump and Elon to commemorate this epic fail. It's embarrassing display of theater. Look at these guys. Pretending like this is some kind of celebratory, victorious send-off for a job well done. Jesus, look, even Lincoln is looking down. You see him? Look at Lincoln. Look at Lincoln. Even Lincoln is looking down going, this is the most tedious performance I've ever had to sit through. This is... Even Lincoln can't take it. Oh, somebody booth me. I don't like this. Too soon? Is that? F***ing Lincoln, for God's sake. With all the shit going on in the world, I was not expecting the audience to be like, poor Lincoln. Just wanted to see a play. Of course, Lincoln wasn't the only one seemingly disassociating in the Oval Office. Of course, there might have been an explanation for that behavior as well.
The New York Times reports that Musk allegedly used drugs far more than previously known.
Look, whether Elon was using drugs on the job or not, I have no idea. I do know one thing about the television industry, though, especially the news industry, and that is whatever unusual images we have of Elon's enthusiastic time in Washington, D.C., those images will now be repurposed and given a slightly different meaning and context, almost comically so. Inside Edition, do your worst.
Musk's departure comes as a jaw-dropping New York Times report claims he was taking a cocktail of drugs while on the campaign trail. According to the Times expose, Musk's erratic behavior, including waving a chainsaw around and that notorious Nazi-like stiff arm, can be attributed to a daily mix of ketamine, ecstasy, psychedelic mushrooms, and Adderall. They claim he traveled with a daily medication box that holds 20 pills.
Yes! Why you want to do a brother dirty? That way you do that. Come on, Inside Edition. Inauguration party enthusiasm or reefer madness? And you might be saying, well, look, who amongst us hasn't unwound sometimes with a little mixture of ecstasy, mushrooms, ketamine, and Adderall? What could be the harm?
He told people he was taking so much ketamine that it was affecting his bladder.
He told people that? This dude is a one-man anti-drug campaign. These are your pants. These are your pants on drugs. And I do love the fact, though, that the detail is he's the one who told them he had a bladder problem. That means things were so bad, he had to be like, oh, don't worry, it's nothing weird. It's just an overabundance of ketamine. Now, obviously, we on this program would have been delighted to offer an unedited forum for Elon to discuss his journey from hardworking efficiency expert to drug-addled child star mugshot. But he chose to go in a different direction by sort of speaking to your theater-loving parents' favorite news program, CBS Sunday Morning. This is true. This was his final Trump administration exit interview.
I noticed that all of your businesses involve a lot of components, a lot of parts. Do the tariffs and the trade wars affect any of this?
Tariffs always affect things a little bit.
How revealing. Any follow-up?
Wondering what your thought is on the ban on foreign students, the proposal. I mean, you were one of those kids, right?
Yeah, I think we want to stick to, the subject of the day, which is like spaceships, as opposed to, presidential policy.
Oh, okay. I was told anything's good, but...
No.
Look what Trump has reduced this man to. He has broken this poor man to just in an interview. Can't we just talk about spaceships? I was told we would both be wearing helmets and talking about just a simple boy with a set of Star Wars sheets and pillows, and I really would just like to talk about space. I mean, you can't blame him. This whole project was cutting money from the government, trying to find efficiencies, and sneaking a Trojan horse in the back door and stealing all our data. But Trump is spending $200 billion more than the previous administration did in this amount of time, and creating a deficit-exploding big, beautiful bill that is the antithesis of everything Musk said he was trying to do. And now he's left softly complaining about it to a guy whose normal news segment is explaining to your grandparents how to download a PDF.
I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly. which increases the budget deficit, doesn't decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing. I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
No, sir. We will not be body-shaming legislation. I'm going to tell you something, and I speak for all the legislation out there, that in this country, a bill can be big and beautiful and I promised myself I wasn't going to do this. And brave. Holy shit! No? Here's my favorite, by the way. So this actually is my favorite part of the whole interview. So Elon actually expressed some dissatisfaction with what was happening with the Trump administration. It was a turn of events that stunned the reporter on CBS Sunday Morning, who had no idea, apparently, that this was being recorded.
Right after our interview, CBS News posted a clip of it to promote this very report. It was that part where Musk criticizes Trump's spending bill, and his remarks became news. It went all the way up to the White House.
Yeah. That's what news does. He's saying that like, so am I in trouble now? I thought we were just killing time until we got another Patty Lupone apologizes update. I don't like any of this. But let this be a lesson to Elon and anybody in Trump's orbit. Whatever your passionate political belief or whatever your ideology is, you will go from reaching for mine stars to dissolving in a puddle of your own urine and shame and starting a fight club with your kid just to be able to feel. Because Trump doesn't believe in anything, man. What, were you with him because of his commitment to rein in big tech?
They use big tech to censor you. They use the deep state to spy on you.
We have to make sure that we are protecting the American people's privacy and data rights.
When I'm president, big tech will pay. iTunes will have to agree to your terms and conditions. When I'm president, traffic lights will have to click on boxes containing pictures of you. Capture that. So how's that libertarian paradise vision going for you now?
The Trump administration is expanding its partnership with Palantir. The company is reportedly going to build a master list of personal information on Americans that could give President Donald Trump immense surveillance power.
It's never a good sign when the phrase master list and surveillance power are coupled. No one's ever like, I've assembled a master list of puppies you can surveil for boops. But hey, how evil can Palantir be? Hey, you got Pal right in the name of it. Well, look, it's not like they're handing all of our data over to some crackpot CEO. Well, let's not judge a book by its cover.
The most effective way for social change is humiliate your enemy and make them poorer.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination. I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us.
Well, let's not judge a book by its insides. Well, I've always said if there's anyone in the country who should have access to all of my personal data, it's the guy who wants drug-laced urine-spraying drones. Although if he is serious about that, he's going to need a source for drug-laced urine. I might know a guy. No. Here's the thing. The reality is this. The reality of Trump is he turns even his most fervent and enthusiastic foot soldiers upside down. Take Dan Bongino, ex-Secret Service agent, Fox News host, and guy who looks like he starts fights at Little League games even though he doesn't have a kid playing. He was very excited for the Trump era.
Right now, we're in charge. This is how shit gets done. Trump ain't f***ing around. We are going to hold every one of these people accountable. It is time for total personnel warfare. Fire 100 people on day one. Fire 100 more. Fire 1,000 more. Fire everyone. We're good at flipping the script on dipshit, f***wad, liberal commies. You know what's coming? What's coming? Does anybody know?
Well, that last part's going to make for some good B-roll for an Inside Edition story one day. Anyway, Trump made that guy deputy director of the FBI because, of course. But look what his only 3 months on the job have done to him.
I gave up everything for this. I mean, Cash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there he gets in like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. You know, I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment. But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C.
Yeah, that's called a job. You have a job. That's what they are. You go in at a specific time, 6:30, 7, around there, to a specific room, mostly four-walled. And you're there all f***ing day. It's work. It's a job. And yeah, there probably is a dude in there that you hear all f***ing day. He turns the water on, you hear, hey, look at that, he's chewing another f***ing sandwich. I hate this job. It's annoying. Yeah, it sucks. How do you not know that? For God's sakes, you're on the right. Haven't you even read Dilbert, for f***ing sake? Work sucks. And how are you just finding about this now? How is having a job now suddenly destroying everything?
But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C., by myself, divorced from my wife. Not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced. And it's hard. I mean, we love each other, and it's hard to be apart.
I mean, it's hard. I don't like to separated. I mean, divorced. I'm not divorced. I was divorced, but not separate. I'm separated together, but not, of course, alone. But I go, who knows? I mean, some people, they leave for a while. Who the f*** knows? Guys come over, they come banging people. Who the f*** knows what's happening? I don't know what's happening. Why can't she come to work? Why can't I just can I bring my wife to work? Would that be okay? We all miss our wives. What the f***? The only one who's going to come out of there unscathed is Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, because I don't think she got any principles in there left to die.
President Trump is truly the most transparent and accessible president in American history.
We have truth on our side at this White House.
I think everybody, the American public, believe it's absurd for anyone to insinuate that this president is profiting off of the presidency. It's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit.
That's all he's doing. By the way, I think the more she lies, the bigger her cross gets. Is that possible? It's like some sort of weird Pinocchio cross. The president can't be bought. I'm not even upset with this lady, because just rolling with the punches is clearly the only strategy for happiness when you're working for Trump. Trump's very open secret has always been he doesn't believe in or care about any policy issue at all. He wants attention, he wants his ego stroked, and he wants money. He wants wads and wads of money. Remember his 90 deals in 90 days? He made them, but only for his family. Those are the only deals he made. Meanwhile, the world he said he was going to fix is burning, like so many nuclear-capable planes in Siberia. And don't bother trying to call him on it, because before you can, he's already moved on to pulling some new crazy thing out of his ass to distract us.
President Trump is reposting false claims about former President Joe Biden, saying that Biden was executed in 2020. Since then, clones, body doubles, and robots took Biden's place as president.
You're saying that the Joe Biden, who doesn't even know where he is actually an incredibly advanced cloned robot? How much ketamine are you on? A lot.
One of the most heartwarming stories of the Trump administration so far has been the beautiful friendship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, two men who had previously never had a friend. But today, that friendship got doged.
You're going to want to hear about this. Breaking moments ago, Elon Musk speaking out in a big way on the big, beautiful bill. He took to X a short time ago, writing, quote, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
Chainsaw! Oh no, not my two favorite people fighting. Don't make me choose who I love more. But yes, Elon is worried that Trump's bill will raise the deficit too high. And when Elon is worried about something getting too high, you know it's too high. And he may be right. But Elon has to be careful. You come out that hard against Trump's central legislative achievement, and you're going to be the first white person to get deported. But while you're shaming supporters of this bill, be sure to save a little shame for yourself, Elon. You're the one who spent $288 million getting Trump elected. You even showed Hole to support him. Now, granted, the hole was a belly button, but still, hole is hole. But let's move on. Hole is hole. Let's move on to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, if you're nasty. FEMA is always ready to come to the rescue, no matter what sort of disaster that mega bitch Mother Nature throws at us, like wildfires, tornadoes, sharknadoes, horny dolphin-nados. Those are the worst. But it turns out not everyone at FEMA is as prepared as they should be.
FEMA staff were apparently caught off guard on Monday when the disaster agency's new acting leader told them that he was previously unaware that the U.S. had a hurricane season.
The head of FEMA doesn't know what hurricane season is? I would expect Trump to hire someone who's not qualified to handle hurricanes, but to not even know when they come? I mean, it's almost like Trump picks his cabinet the way you select a jury. Do you have any opinions on hurricanes? Have you ever heard of hurricanes? No? Great, you're hired. This guy's the head of the Emergency Management Agency. He doesn't know about hurricane season? There's only like 3 emergencies in life you really need to know. There's hurricanes, wildfires, and when you're taking out the garbage and it starts dripping from the bottom of the bag. Those are only life's emergencies. But if that comment freaks you out, you're not alone. The administration had to come out and say, psych, I was joking.
A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security tells CNN that the comment was made in jest.
Yeah, sure, it was a joke. It's a joke. You know, that reminds me of the time I, as a joke, shit my pants. And it was so funny to do that on that airplane. Everyone was laughing and loving it. Let's say he was actually joking about being a total dumbass. That doesn't make it better. The head of FEMA is a serious job. I don't want my EMTs to be like, okay, now, where do I push to make the heart beat again? Just kidding, I got it. Hey, wake up. So the head of FEMA is either an idiot who never heard of hurricane season or just an idiot. We may never know. But another new Trump appointee has been very clear about the fact that he has no idea what he's doing.
In a new audio recording, Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano reveals that he had no idea what the job entailed when it was offered to him.
I get a phone call, and it's about Social Security. So I'm Googling Social Security, one of my great skills. I'm one of the great Googlers on the East Coast. I'm like, what the heck's the Commissioner of Social Security?
First of all, can you Google how to clear your throat, maybe? I mean, how do you not know what the Commissioner of Social Security does? He's the one who, hands out the championship trophy at the end of the Social Security season. But yeah, you knew that. But don't worry, because he's one of the great Googlers. Now, not in the whole country, just the East Coast, but that's still a big population area. It's pretty cool that the guy who's in charge of a $1.2 trillion agency is using the same tool I use to look up the name of the one black guy in Maroon 5. What up, Peach? Now, at this point, you might be asking yourself, does anyone in this cabinet even know what their job is? Well, based on what Education Secretary Linda McMahon has been up to, still no.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon weighed in on Long Island's continuing mascot battle. She was in Massapequa yesterday. It's one of 13 districts fighting to keep Native American school nicknames and mascots. The state says if the mascots are not changed by June, funds will be withheld. But McMahon says the ban violates civil rights because names and mascots of other racial and ethnic groups are still allowed.
We reserve the right to turn over this investigation to the Department of Justice, because that's how serious we are about this.
Great use of your time, Education Secretary. China's schools are producing 1 million engineers a minute, but it's okay because our students will know how to do the tomahawk chop. Look, we can't keep having endless disputes about Native American mascots, especially when every mascot in Philly is clearly addicted to cocaine. I mean, the fanatic... The fanatic is like perfectly designed. Anyway, see, look, either we don't allow mascots at all anymore, or every mascot is an offensive ethnic stereotype, including white people. How about that? You know, the drunken Irish, okay? The horny Italians, the emotionally unavailable British, that kind of thing. The point is, when it comes to mascots, you can't make both liberals and conservatives happy unless all the Native American mascots are trans, and then everybody gets something. So, now, let's move on to Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence and woman who gives Snow White the poison apple and big... The audience loves Tulsi Gabbard. She's in charge of the president's daily brief, which is where the intelligence agencies gather all the top secret information they need to goad the president into a war with Iran. Excuse me, to defend our national interests. Of course, the problem with giving Donald Trump a PDB to read is that reading's not really his thing.
From inauguration till the end of May, he had, according to his public schedule, 14 PDBs.
14 PDBs since inauguration? What the hell? It's the daily brief. Daily means you're supposed to get it every day. Like, we're the Daily Show, and we're on the air 4 days a week. That's a bad example. That's a bad example. That's a bad example. Even President Biden had read 90 of them at this point, although, to be fair, it was really just 45. They had to read them to him twice. But obviously, the president not having a grasp of national security is a huge problem. But luckily, Tulsi Gabbard has a solution.
Tulsi Gabbard is considering bringing on a Fox News producer and a network personality to present the briefing, tailoring it to how the president actually prefers to consume information by watching Fox News.
Look, I love how Trump's people are like, we got to cut government spending. And also, we need $10 million for a fake TV show because the president can't read. Now, obviously, converting the brief into a Fox News broadcast won't be easy. To make it realistic, you have to cast someone who's had sexual harassment allegations. Then you're going to need to find time for the 36 ads for catheters. But still, at least Tulsi Gabbard is thinking outside the box here. And finally, we can get some Fox News people in the White House, aside from the Secretary of Transportation and the Secretary of Defense and the border czar, the Deputy Director of the FBI, the Deputy Special Envoy for Middle East Peace, the Senior Counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, and the Ambassador to Greece. Oh, I missed my kid's birthday. Washington is a lot like high school, and not just because all the politicians are trying to date high schoolers. It's also because when a friendship ends, it explodes. And right now, we are drenched in the fallout.
Breaking news, war of words between Elon Musk and the GOP lawmakers. This comes after the tech mogul is speaking out again on the president's sprawling spending bill.
He says, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination."
Jesus Christ, you can't just call this bill a pork-filled abomination. That's reserved for the new TGI Fridays appetizer. $9.99 for a whole fried pig, I'm there. Woo! But this rift between Musk and Trump presents an incredible opportunity for Democrats to go on the attack. Hit him with everything you got. Let's go, Dems.
I hear something happened while we were at lunch, which led me to make some news here today and say something I didn't think was imaginable. I agree with Elon Musk.
God, that is so lame. Man, I feel so inspired when I hear Chuck Schumer. I just want to hit the streets and then keep walking and go a little farther until eventually I come to a body of water and then, give up on democracy. Nice try, Chuck Schumer. Any other Democrat want to take a shot?
Breaking news, Elon Musk and I agree with each other.
Yeah, Schumer already did that. That's the first rule they teach you in comedy college. A joke always gets funnier when you have to repeat it. And that's the first rule they teach you in comedy college. A joke always gets funnier when you have to repeat it. And even if Democrats can't take advantage of it, it's still shocking for Elon to turn on Trump like this. Why did he do it?
The source in Trump world claiming that Elon was, quote, butthurt, in part because the bill didn't include giveaways to his companies.
Musk is upset that the spending bill cuts the electric vehicle tax credit. The White House denied his request to have the Federal Aviation Administration use his Starlink satellite system.
Are you kidding me? He's upset about that? Let's review all that Elon Musk has gained from his $288 million investment into this presidency. $100 million in NASA contracts. He got to freeze 40 federal investigations against his companies, fired anybody who could regulate or tax him, and he got the president of the United States to plug his car company, and Trump almost pronounced its name correctly.
I love Tesla.
But he's still pissed? Because he couldn't skim every last dollar from the Treasury? There's got to be a better reason.
Plus, we're learning Musk had hoped to stay on with the White House as a special government employee beyond 130 days, but apparently the White House didn't accommodate that.
Wait. The White House couldn't accommodate that? That does sound like bullshit. Donald Trump is literally defying court orders as we speak. But with this, he's like, sorry, Elon, rules are rules, If I break Regulation 46C of the Federal Employee Handbook, what separates us from animals? No, Elon Musk got fired. Now I get why he's mad. It doesn't matter how rich you are. Getting fired sucks. You never totally get over being fired. I got fired from Chuck E. Cheese in 1999. And I still have dreams about going up to the manager and saying, no, Bruce, you're the one that ate pizza scraps instead of throwing them out. Hope you're watching, Bruce. But whatever the reason for Elon's butt pain, it seems to have opened the floodgates. And now it's giving life to a growing Republican backlash against the bill.
What I'm concerned about is they didn't cut enough spending.
We've got to have some fiscal sanity here. We're running $2 trillion deficits.
We need to try to reduce spending as much as we possibly can.
It's hugely concerning to me.
This is immoral, what us old farts are doing to our young people. This is grotesque what we're doing.
Yes, this bill is doing to young people is grotesque. Now, it's not as bad as what this bill is doing to young people, but it's still pretty gross. You didn't see that one coming, did you? In fact, the backlash to the bill is getting so big that even Republicans who already voted for it are backlashing.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, even though the Congresswoman voted for the bill in the House, she now says, in full transparency, that she wasn't aware of a section that would strip states of their ability to regulate artificial intelligence for the next decade.
Here's a lesson for us all. No matter what political party holds office and is in charge, we should all watch carefully the bills that we pass.
Yep. Yep. No shit. I mean, smart. I mean, congrats on coming out against a crazy thing in this bill, but you weren't aware of what was in it? That's your job. This isn't book club. You can't just read the first 7 pages and then be like, I love it, Linda, more rosé. But here's what's really unbelievable about this story. We can shit on MTG, and we will because it's so fun to, but she isn't even the only Republican who's admitting she didn't read the whole bill before voting for it.
Some voters in Nebraska confronted their congressman, Republican Mike Flood, and he admitted that he voted in favor of the bill without reading a provision that would make it harder for judges to hold parties in contempt for defying court orders.
I do not agree with that section that was added to that bill. This provision was unknown to me when I voted for the bill.
Hey, why are you guys booing me? I'm just telling you I didn't do the bare minimum of my job. Feels like you should be applauding me for my honesty. Come on. I know reading a 1,000-page bill is boring. I get it. Reading sucks. I can't even get through the birthday cards my kids give me. I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. Wrap it up already. But you got to read these bills. It's not like a 23andMe terms of service agreement where you can just blindly sign it and now there's a clone of you who's a sex slave for an Uzbek oligarch. Unlike that, these bills are important. Anyway, at this point, there's basically an open revolt against the bill. And this must really piss off House Speaker Mike Johnson. He's busted his balls for months putting this thing together. And after one tweet from Elon Musk, everybody's turning on it? Don't take that shit, Mike, all right? Tell that pasty, South African, belly-flashing, sperm fountain, absent baby daddy, friendless Ziploc bag full of jizz, ketamine, Rasputin, dead-eyed, deadbeat, doge donkey, Hitler-waving semen distributor, where he can shove his tweets. Come on!
With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill.
Oh, my God. None of them are good at this. For a few days now, there's been a simmering tension between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the leader of the free world and the breeder of the free world. But today, the conflict has escalated into a full-blown World War douche.
Breaking news, a very public breakup between the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and arguably the most powerful man, President Donald Trump.
A fascinating and blistering war of words.
It is getting messier, literally by the minute.
Well, it's crashing and burning right now.
The bromance is over.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it. The thing that was always going to happen is now happening. And you get to be a part of it. I thought these two billionaires with the world's biggest egos would work it out amicably. All right, let's take a step back and figure out how this completely predictable thing predictably unfolded. After Elon stepped away from the White House a few days ago, he started to express some constructive criticism about Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill, that it drastically increases the deficit, which clearly undercuts all the hard, patriotic work Elon has done gutting funding for cancer research and starving children. And at first, it was just quiet complaining. But yesterday, Elon took his campaign up a notch.
Elon Musk, who just yesterday called it an abomination and doubled down on that today in a string of posts. One reads, a new spending bill should be drafted that doesn't massively grow the deficit and increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. In another, he writes, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. Another simply shows a movie poster for the Quentin Tarantino movie, Kill Bill.
Right? Kill Bill. I guess Elon is a fan of Tarantino movies, although not the one where all the Nazis die at the end. That one makes him sad. Now, Trump had been uncharacteristically reserved about his good friend turning against his bill. And even today, when he was asked about it, you could tell that he was treading lightly.
I've always liked Elon, and so I was very surprised. Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised, but I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is just like when your mom catches you jerking off to her JC catalog. Trump's not mad, but he is disappointed. But this was an interesting response, because for every other ex-staffer who speaks out against Trump, he's like, this loser, piece of shit, lowlife dirtbag. I wish I'd fired him sooner and his wife. But when it came to Elon, he was more subdued. And I think that's because Trump could tell that deep down inside, Elon has $400 billion. But if Trump was hoping to handle the situation delicately, it didn't seem to work.
And Elon Musk is wasting no time pushing back. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Democrats would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. He went on to say, such ingratitude.
Woo! All right. Woo! This isn't about policy anymore. This is getting personal. This is Elon saying, I made you. And like everything else I make, I can blow you up. And by the way, Elon taking credit for winning the election is a little rude to the Democrats, isn't it? I mean, you're totally erasing all the work they did to blow the election. But those tweets triggered Trump. He doesn't mind if you criticize his policies or ideas or family or children. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. But the one thing you cannot do is suggest that Trump didn't win something on his own. He thinks he won everything on his own, even the things he lost. So then, Trump started swinging back.
Let me read a little bit of what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. He says, Elon was wearing thin. He asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy.
That's not fair. Elon Musk didn't just go crazy. He's been crazy for a long time. And maybe he's right. What kind of idiot would be into Elon's cars?
I love Tesla.
Not anymore. And Trump didn't just leave it there. He also threw in a threat saying, if this African junkie wants to cut the deficit, I know where to start.
Then he says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it.
Oh, shit. Elon's government contracts can't be worth that much, can they? Oh, it's $6.3 billion last year. Elon, you idiot. This is why you always sign a prenup. By the way, can we just point out how crazy 2025 is? Most people can't afford to eat eggs anymore. Meanwhile, these two billionaires are attacking each other from different social media platforms that they each own. Maybe we should eat the rich. But Trump... But Trump, Elon, let's calm down, all right? Things are getting a little too heated. At this point, we can still walk away from this. Right? Let's not say something we can never take back, right? Right? Right?
Elon Musk tweeting within the past 1 minute, time to drop the really big bomb. At Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT, exclamation point.
America, tonight, we are a nation at war. And look, it's not a big surprise that Trump might be in the Epstein files. We've seen them party together. Of course Trump is in the Epstein files. This is like saying, guys, they're aliens in the X-Files. Yeah, obviously. But for his own best friend / sugar daddy to say this, that is huge. Although, I like that he ends it with, have a nice day. I don't know if Trump is, but I sure am. But as you can imagine, this whole feud is tearing MAGA world apart. Steve Bannon called for Musk to be deported. Some Musk fans called for Trump to be impeached, to which Musk replied, yes. But some more sober minds are calling for a ceasefire.
Kanye West reacting to the feud today, posting, "Bros, please, no. We love you both so much."
Look, you know you've gone too far when Kanye West is saying, please stop being messy on the internet. Meanwhile, some people in MAGA world are so freaked out by this breakup that they've chosen to respond in denial.
I think Trump might be working in tandem with Elon here to tank his own bill in a 4D chess move.
Oh, okay. 4D chess? No, at best it's Jenga between two kids who immediately knock the tower over and start whipping blocks at each other.